Hello everybody, welcome to the class on carbohydrates. I am K.R. Manjula, lecturer in chemistry, Dr. LHR, Government Degree College, Mailavaram. After going through this video, you shall be able to know about general definition and basis of classification of carbohydrates. You will be knowing about the straight chain and cyclic structures of carbohydrates, the chemical properties of the glucose, types of disaccharides, polysaccharides and its types, functions of carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates, together with lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids, are one of the four major classes of biologically essential organic molecules found in all living organisms. Carbohydrates, all coming from the process of photosynthesis, represent the major part of organic substance on earth. They are the most abundant organic components in the major part of fruits, vegetables, legumes, and cereal grains. They carry out many functions in all living organisms and are the major energy source in a Mediterranean type diet. Finally, they provide flavor and texture in many processed foods. Coming to the definition of carbohydrates, carbohydrates may be defined as optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or compounds which produce them on hydrolysis. Classification of carbohydrates. There are three major classes of carbohydrates. One is the monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides, these are the monomers or the building blocks for all the classes of carbohydrates. They do not undergo any further hydrolysis. Example, glucose, fructose, galactose and ribose. Disaccharides, they are produced by joining two simple sugars by dehydration synthesis, forming a covalent bond between them. On hydrolysis, they give two monomers. Example is sucrose and maltose. Polysaccharides, they are also called as complex carbohydrates, are produced by joining many monosaccharides together by many dehydration synthesis reactions, forming a polymer molecule. Example, amylose, glycogen, cellulose and chitin. This is also one more classification of carbohydrates here. This is in general, broadly we can classify carbohydrates into sugars and non-sugars. That is, sugars we call it as the saccharides and non-sugars we call them as polysaccharides. Now sugars they have low molecular weight, they are soluble in water, they are sweet to taste. We classify them into monosaccharides and disaccharides. Polysaccharides, they are having high molecular weight, they are insoluble in water and they are tasteless. If we further classify monosaccharides, they can be classified into depending upon the number of carbon atoms. Trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and heptoses depending upon the number of carbon atoms. Disaccharides, two monosaccharides combine to form a disaccharide. Examples are sucrose, lactose and maltose. I have also given the structure of disaccharides. Polysaccharides are complex substances formed by the polymerization of large number of monomers. Starch is composed of two components, amylose and amylopectin. Amylase forms the linear chain and amylopectin is a much branched chain. Glycogen is called animal starch. It has a structure similar to starch but has more extensive branching. Cellulose is a structural carbohydrate and is the main structural component of the plant cell wall. It is a fibrous polysaccharide with high tensile strength. In contrast to starch and glycogen, cellulose forms a linear polymer. Polysaccharides can be further classified into homosaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides are the saccharides, polysaccharides which on hydrolysis yield same type of monosaccharide units. Examples, starch, glycogen, cellulose, inulin. They yield only glucose on hydrolysis. Heterosaccharides, heteropolysaccharides, these are the polysaccharides which on hydrolysis yield a mixture of different types of monosaccharides. Example, hyaluronic acid on hydrolysis will give you glucuronic acid plus N-acetyl glucosamine. Heparin is also made up of glucosamine and glucuronic acid. Functions of carbohydrates. The main function of carbohydrates is to provide energy and food to the body and to the nervous system. Carbohydrates are known as one of the basic components of food, including sugar, starch, fiber, which are abundantly found in grains, fruits, and milk products. Now, examples of carbohydrates: glucose, galactose, maltose, fructose, sucrose, lactose, starch, cellulose, and chitin. Now, there is a difference between a good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates. Good carbohydrates are the one which are high in nutrients, moderate in calories, and low in sodium and saturated fats. Also, they should be low in trans fat and cholesterol. Examples are legumes, vegetables, whole grains, fruits, and beans. Bad carbohydrates, they are low in nutrients, they're high in calories, they're high in sodium and saturated fats, high in trans fat and cholesterol. White flour, rice, pastries, soda, and processed foods come under bad carbohydrates. Coming to the chemical properties of glucose. Glucose contains active groups. The active groups are responsible for their chemical properties. There are three types of active groups in glucose. They are glycosidic OH group, alcoholic OH group, and aldehydic CHO group. Now, initially people thought that glucose was having a linear structure. Finally, they came to a conclusion that it does not have a linear structure, but it is a cyclic in nature. So here we'll see that what are the reactions which prove that it is having a linear structure and why the linear structure is not suitable for it and only a ring structure is suitable. Coming to the reaction with methanol. Glucose on reaction with methanol, it will give you two types of isomers. One is the methyl alpha D glucoside and the other one is the methyl beta D glucoside. This reaction will prove that there are two isomers of glucose. One is the alpha glucose and other one is the beta D glucose. Oxidation. Oxidation, when glucose is oxidized with bromine water, it forms gluconic acid. The aldehydic group present in it is oxidized to carboxylic group. First, bromine forms hypobromous acid with water and oxidizes the glucose to gluconic acid. The CHO group is oxidized to COOH group. When glucose is oxidized with nitric acid, saccharic acid is formed. Whereas when glucose is oxidized with hydrogen peroxide, glucuronic acid is formed. In this reaction, only the primary alcohol is converted into carboxylic group, whereas the aldehyde remains unchanged. Coming to reduction, monosaccharides can be reduced by various reducing agents such as sodium amalgam or by hydrogen under high pressure in the presence of catalyst. The reduction is due to the presence of aldehyde or ketone group. On reduction, they yield alcohols. When glucose is reduced by sodium amalgam, sorbitol is formed. Mannose yields mannitol and fructose yields a mixture of sorbitol and mannitol because of the formation of a new asymmetric carbon C2 of fructose. Reaction with concentrated sulfuric acid. Glucose is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid or HCl. It forms 5-hydroxymethyl furfural, which on further heating yields libulinic acid and formic acid. This reaction is the basis of the color test known as Molish test for sugars. When pentoses are treated with mineral acids, furfural is obtained on heating. Ester formation. They can form esters with carboxylic acids due to the presence of OH groups. For example, glucose reacts with 5 molecules of acetic anhydride to form pentaacetate derivative. It obviously indicates that glucose contains 5 OH groups. The reducing property. Monosaccharides act as the best reducing agents. They readily oxidize oxidizing agents such as ferric cyanide, hydrogen peroxide, and cupric ion. In such reactions, the sugar is oxidized at the carbonyl group and the oxidizing agent becomes reduced. Glucose and other sugars capable of reducing certain compounds are called reducing sugars. Glucose reduces Tollens reagent, Felling's reagent, Benedict's reagent, etc. At the same time, glucose is oxidized to gluconic acid. This property is the basis of Felling's reaction. Ammonical cupric sulfate, a qualitative test for the presence of reducing sugar. Copper is reduced to Cu plus, Cu2 plus is reduced to Cu plus, and at the same time glucose is oxidized to gluconic acid. During this reaction, the blue color of the reagent changes to reddish orange color. Benedict's reagent contains cupric ions which are reduced to cuprous ions by the reducing sugar, and the color change from blue to orange or red. It indicates the presence of a reducing sugar. A standard test for the presence of reducing sugar is a reduction of silver in ammonical solution. That is, when we do a test with Tollens reagent to yield a metallic silver mirror lining on the sides of the test tube. Glucose, when it is taken in a test tube and added Tollens reagent, we get a silver, and when we heat it on a water bath, we get a metallic silver lining on the sides of the test tube. This is a very important reaction which we also do it in the laboratory. D-glucose on reaction with Tollens reagent forms D-gluconic acid. Glucose is reduced to N-hexane on reduction with HI and red phosphorus. Formation of N-hexane indicates the straight chain of glucose. This reaction will tell us that glucose is having a straight chain. Oxazone formation, one of the important reaction of reducing sugars, that is monosaccharides and disaccharides having potential aldehyde or ketone group, is their action with phenyl hydrazine to form phenyl hydrozones. Reaction with phenyl hydrazine involves only two carbon atoms, namely the carbonyl carbon atom and the adjacent one. The steps involved in phenyl hydrazine reactions are: one molecule of glucose condenses with one molecule of phenyl hydrazine to form soluble phenyl hydrazone. Water molecule is liberated here. Secondly, in the presence of excess of phenyl hydrazine, another molecule of phenyl hydrazine enters the reaction. Now, the third molecule of phenyl hydrazine enters the reaction, giving rise to phenyl glucosazone, which are yellow colored crystals. The shape of the crystals and the time of formation of oxazone differ for various sugars. The reaction of phenyl hydrazine with fructose is also similar to glucose. Action with hydroxylamine. As I told you that glucose is having a CHO group, it will react with hydroxylamine to form oxams. Glucose forms oxams with hydroxylamine, glucose oxam. Reaction with HCN, because of the presence of this aldehyde group, even glucose also reacts with hydrogen cyanide. It will give you cyanohydrin, glucose cyanohydrin. Fermentation, it is a process of converting a large complex molecule into simpler molecules by means of enzymes in an anaerobic condition. The products of the reaction are alcohol and carbon dioxide. Glucose in the presence of an enzyme zymase gives you ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. This reaction is called fermentation. One important reaction of monosaccharides is epimerization. Two sugars which differ from one another only in configuration around a single carbon atom, especially at the C2, they are termed as epimers. Glucose and mannose are epimers in respect to C2 carbon. Glucose and galactose differ only with respect to C4. The process by which one epimer is converted to other is called as epimerization, and it requires the enzyme epimerases in the living organisms. Galactose is converted to glucose by this manner in our body. Mutarotation. One of the important reactions here is in carbohydrates is mutarotation. Mutarotation was discovered by chemist Augustin Pierre du Brunfort in 1814. Mutarotation is the change in optical rotation due to change in equilibrium between anomers. When D-glucose is crystallized at room temperature and a fresh solution is prepared, its specific rotation of plane polarized light is 112 degrees. But after 12 to 18 hours, it changes to 52.5 degrees. If glucose is crystallized from pyridine, we get beta glucose, and its aqueous solution shows specific rotation of 19 degrees, which also changes to 52.5. within few hours. This change in rotation with time is called mutarotation. The open chain of structure of glucose can't explain the following properties. When we say that glucose is having an aldehyde group, it should react with Schiff's reagent. It should also react with sodium hydrogen sulfide. But glucose is not reacting with Schiff's reagent. It is not reacting with sodium hydrogen sulfide. It is also not reacting with ammonia. As well, pentacetate derivative of glucose also will not react with hydroxylamine. Glucose in open chain structure does not show mutarotation. In order to explain these properties, which are not inconsistent with the open chain structure, a ring structure was proposed for glucose. If glucose has having a linear structure, it should also react with the above mentioned reagents. But as it is not reacting, we say that the linear structure is not sufficient good for the it is not obeying the linear structure, whereas a ring structure is proposed for glucose. Glucose has a molecular formula C6H12O6 and has a six-membered ring. Glucose may be represented by the following open structure, but in solution it only exists as a six-membered ring structure called pyranose form. Glucose is known as group sugar. This is the in the slide you can see the alpha D glucose, whereas also in beta D glucose and the acyclic glucose in between. Cyclic structure of glucose. Now the ring structure of glucose explains the properties which are not explained by open chain structure, because ring structure has no free aldehydic group. Glucose does not respond to certain characteristic test of aldehydes like Schiff's test and addition reaction with sodium bisulfite. As it is not having a free aldehyde group, that is the reason it is not responding to the reactions. The cyclic structure is attributed to the formation of hemiacetal. The cyclic structure thus formed is a six-membered ring. This cyclic structure has one chiral center more than the open chain structure. Therefore, two possible isomeric forms are possible. This is the Haworth projection formula of glucose. Glucose, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. We have the pyranose structure of glucose. Thank you.